family, it's Tasha, Mama Bear Prepping. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel where we just talk about preparedness. Really, we talk about what my family does in regards to preparedness, preparing for emergencies, natural disasters, and different events that could happen, okay? And what we're doing right now to prepare. Now, if you're new to the channel and you have not subscribed, please hit that subscription button for me. Make sure you hit that bell notification. I do release videos every single day, and I do premieres on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So today's premiere day, so thank you for coming, and welcome to those that are in the actual chat right now speaking to me. So today we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about the importance of getting your money out of the banks and coming up and developing different options for you and your family to prepare for the day that banks crash, the whole economic system crashes, the dollar loses its value, any and all of those things, because each of those things are important pieces of things could happen, right? We could experience stuff that has to do with finances and economic collapse in regards to just simple things like either a banking crash, but also simple things, similar things like housing crash, different stuff like that. Now, there's a lot of really weird, wanky stuff that's happening in the last few years with bank accounts and bank access. There's a lot of bank closures, people's bank accounts just being closed completely, bank accounts being frozen for no reason. And when you call, you get a lot of runaround. You get a lot of you get some stuff like, oh, well, maybe it's fraud, or maybe it's not, or we don't really have an answer. We don't really have to tell you an answer. There's privacy rules and things being changed within the bank. Just things are very, very weird. And it cannot be trusted. Okay. It cannot be. It's not that it could be trusted before. But there's so many things happening now that should make you pause for concern, right? Bank closures, tons of Canadian banks, US banks, UK banks, hundreds of banks closing since 21, even this year, and you still have hundreds of banks that are still closing or scheduled to close between now and the end of the year, okay? Do yourself a little bit of research. I'm not one to post every single article that I find stuff from, because I find my information from different resources, people sending it to me, other YouTube channels, other people that are experts, other research and papers, right? And stuff online. So it's a lot of information. I'm just not going to spend the time linking everything. I would urge you to investigate this stuff for yourself, right? And I know a lot of you have already emailed me about situations that you've encountered with your banks, closing accounts, weird stuff. I've experienced stuff like, one, my nephew just went through this. He's young, opened his first, bank account, and just oddly, it was frozen, right? And he called and he kind of got a runaround about maybe some possible fraud, something. For a long time, weeks went by where they were like basically not telling him anything, and his bank was just frozen. So his money is just there. He could not go to the bank and get the money out. They were like, no, it's frozen. Just the really bizarre stuff. Long story short, he finally got it resolved and was able to get his money. But it was just very, very odd. I personally have gone to ATMs. I have a particular bank that is not a local bank, right? And I've gone, normally I can go to any ATM anywhere and get money. Really, what's the downfall? I might have to pay a fee at certain ones, right? Well, I'm being denied now. Certain ATMs I cannot go to any longer. I put my card in, and it's an ATM that maybe I've gone to in years past, right? I go to now, will not give me money, right? Nope, not going to give you any money. Obviously changes in how much money you can take out, and the ATMs are the bank, depending on where you're going, is determining that, right? You might have a bank that says, hey, baby, you can take out 500 a day. Finding out you're going to different ATMs. Nope, we'll let you take out 200. We'll let you take out 300 maybe, okay? So pay attention to that stuff, because that stuff matters. Obviously, banks are getting tighter on letting you being able to do stuff if you're not obviously a member, right? That's kind of been a thing for a while. But pay attention to your surroundings and things that are going on with your banks, right? Getting weird notices from banks. A lot of emails I've gotten lately with banks changing privacy settings, changing stuff that has to do with like their laws and regulations. And to be honest, a lot of people would get those emails and be like, okay, well, it has nothing to do with my money. And people just close it and are like, okay, it's an update, and not even read it and realize that stuff is happening behind the scenes. Okay. A lot of people would say a bank can never just steal your money. Well, yes, they can. Okay. All they have to say is, yes, a bank has to pay you back your money, but there's no disclosures, you guys, of how, when, right? You must get your money between this amount of time, right? And that's what you have to be careful for. If a bank closes the door on everybody, and all those people's money is just in holding, yes, the bank is responsible for making sure that those people get their money. But when, right? Depending on how they close, what was the backdrop story with that? There's just a lot of things. And because there's all this weakness happening around the bank situation, now you do have fraud, right? You do have a lot of fraud happening because people that do that, those criminals, they're seeing that it's easy, right? If you have a lot of issues, concerns, it's easier to make people believe something is happening, and therefore easier to, trick people and take money. And whether it's a cyber from inside, or if it's, they're going directly to these people and saying, XYZ to get the money from people. Okay. You got to be very, very careful. Okay. So how do we prepare? Because this is a big deal. If there's no money, you cannot get money out of your bank. You can't pay your bills. Now you're worried you might lose your car, lose your house, lose different things that you're paying for, right? Because you don't have the ability to get the money out to pay it, right? You're making money, but that money is on an automatic system and it's going to that checking account. Okay. So how do you prepare for that? Well, you give yourself options. We've talked many times on this channel about cash, right? Having your cash stash. You need to get your money out of the bank, right? And you need to do it and then do whatever it is that's going to make you comfortable, to give you options. If that's you buying silver and gold, okay, and having that as an option, cool. If that's you having a ton of cash spread out all over, hidden, cool, that's you. If you are more of, okay, I want cashier's checks or I want money orders. The only problem with that is if you have a complete crash, what is your chances of getting that cash somewhere? Maybe the banks collapse. You have cashier's checks, but will anybody honor those if the bank that it's from or that you got it from is closed, right? So that's very hard to do. Or if it's, grid down, you have no power, nothing is open. That means, simple things. You can't buy anything that has, that is a card is needed. Some simple things as far as getting gas and certain stores that you have to have a credit card for. It's a big, big deal. Okay. What else could you do? Let's see. I wrote a bunch of stuff down. So money orders and stuff, just to be clear, I would probably stay away from that. But I do know people, as a way to keep money not in the bank, but on them, they do that. Not sure that I really like that idea, though. I'm much more of a cash girl. Gold or silver. I've never been huge on gold or silver, but I can see the value in that. Absolutely. Okay. Buying hard assets, right? Stop just holding this money in this bank entity who could collapse or close, and you are dead in the water as far as your money and your ability to get money. But if you've spent your money in hard assets, spend it on the food, water, meds. Spend it on getting a solar generator. Spend it on getting your garden set up or a water filtering system, right? Spend it on those things, right? Spend it on debt, right? Pay off your debt. I cannot stress enough of pay off old debt, pay off bills you owe, pay that car off, pay that house, right? Pay that stuff down and get it done, okay? It's not yours until you've paid it. And if we have a huge bank crisis, we have bank closures, whether that's driven by grid going down or if it's, centered around economic collapse, you've got to be prepared for that. And how do you continue to own the things that you own, right? How are you going to make money when the bank has shut yours off and now you still have people coming for you. Now, people will argue if it's a grid down, it's a total collapse, nobody's coming for your house or your car because there's no money infrastructure, there's no nothing. I don't know that I trust that, okay? I don't know that I trust that. Well, if everything is broken and it's total collapse, nobody's coming for you. I just don't want to rely on that being the case, and I want to be prepared. So having the ability to show that your stuff is paid off, having the deed to your home, having that stuff matters, okay? If it's not, taking the cash out or gold or silver or having a different way to make income to be able to still pay that later, right? Maybe the whole system collapses, but you have small entities that are still trying to collect. Hey, we're as a country not going to be trying to collect debt for the homes, but we are going to be trying to collect the taxes for the home, right? You never know what the government is going to be still trying to do, okay? And that's a problem for me, okay? Give yourself options. What skills do you know? How would you make money? What is your alternate way to make a living? If you come down to the dollar loses its value, economic collapse, you've got to make money, your job has gone away. What are you doing, or what can you do to still provide money? Do you have stuff to barter, right? Do you have skills to barter? Do you have items, hard assets that people will want that you can barter? All of these things will matter. You know, if you look at Venezuela, so many people, I mean, just hurting. But there's ways, and that's why we prepare now, because a lot of the stuff we're doing now is going to save us in a way where our quality of life will not be as bad, okay? We can get ready for this, but it starts with us. You've got to get your money out of the banks and figure out what is the best strategy for you and your family for options in regards to money, and spread that out. You know, game plan, paying off debt, getting a little bit of silver and gold assets, buying and doing the projects that make our family and our home self-sufficient, right? That is what we're spending our money. We do not have some crazy savings account, okay? Because we're spending the money on hard assets, on things and projects around our home to make our home self-sufficient, to make us self-sufficient, okay? So that money is spent. It's spent to learn new skills. It's spent learning a new project that would help if we lose an aspect of the grid, right? We lose an aspect of the water grid or the power grid or the sewer grid. We are doing deliberate things to be self-sufficient. Should we lose those things, right? Should the dollar crash? Should an economic collapse happen? You know, how are we situated to be able to handle that, okay? And to continue to still keep our home, right? Let me look at my notes, you guys. Some stuff on the side that you should be prepared for when this happens, right? Take your money out, get ready, because it is going to happen, okay? A market crash, a housing market crash will happen. You will see foreclosures. You will see an increase in repossessions of cars. You will see bank closures, because banks that just can't handle the swing of that, whether this might pop off by bank closures, right? This might pop off with the bank system crashing. But behind that, you have now businesses that go out of business, that can't make money. People are going to lose their money. So not only the average citizen, like me and you, would lose our money and whatever money is left in the bank, but so would all those businesses. And if all those business all of a sudden lose their capital, lose all that money that, you know, is their rolling money to buy a new product and mail stuff and yada, 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 they're dead in the water. And so you have a ton of businesses that would close, okay? That means you would have homelessness, you would have starvation, you would have an increase in violence and civil unrest. You would have so much civil unrest, right? Because how dare the government let this happen, right? How dare the government not have a plan to save us? They don't care, and they're not coming to save us. So you have to prepare, okay, your home to be self-sufficient and to continue to give yourself options so that you can work through whatever it is that happens, in whatever way that happens, right, that it plays out. You're ready to go, and you're not panicked. Imagine the panic when millions of people cannot get their money out of a bank, right? And they do not have, this is more than just having a little bit of cash on you for an emergency where there's a natural disaster and you have enough cash to get you through some stuff for 2 or 3 weeks. We're talking about crazy, the banks close and people cannot get their money out. Okay, money that is theirs, they cannot get out, and they will be denied that money. Those banks will be seized. Yeah, oh yeah, banks can't keep your money. They have to pay you. Yeah, they have to pay you. But when, right? They'll just say, well, it's a national, crisis. Yeah, you'll get your money. You'll get your money down the road when this stuff gets sorted out, okay? Imagine the upset and the civil unrest and people in the streets when immediately they are broke, right? Immediately they have only what they have on their back and in their homes, okay? And you might work a job, but can that job that you work at stay open? Will you still have actual employment? How will they pay you? So many businesses are on the grid, okay, in regards to payments. Everything is automatic. We actually prepare military, disability. We get all these checks electronically, okay? And so we prepare for the day that is gone like that. You have to prepare for that. You cannot just assume that is always going to be there, okay? Because it's not. And so the more that you swallow now and realize that you're not entitled to that stuff, and that what are you going to do to be ready for the day that happens, the more strong your mental game will be, okay? Because that's what it's going to take, mental fortitude to get through that anxiety that's going to come with that stress that's going to come with that, the ability to provide for your family, the civil unrest that will be in the streets. It's not going to be cool, okay? But you can prepare now. There's nothing to be fearful of or panic about. You know it's coming, so prepare, right? And for anybody who's watching this that, wants to criticize the level of preparedness, the words I'm saying you instead of we, or different things that you want to say negatively when all I'm trying to do is give you information to prepare. Keep it moving. I don't understand why, if you're not trying to prepare or you're not into knowing more about preparedness, why in the world you would be on a preparedness channel and then furthermore be talking negatively about what is being said. Obviously, you do not want to prepare. I do not understand why you landed here, and you should just keep it pushing, okay? But for the rest of you that are listening, for those of you in the chat that take this stuff serious and are wanting to find out different options, please take heed, right? The writing is on the wall. You literally could go online and every single day there's a story about banks. Go on social media. There's all types of people telling you what's happening to them, okay? All sorts of people that are going through crisis, frozen accounts closed for no reason, okay? This is people with little to no money. This is people with big money, right? This is happening to everybody. And you need to be aware, I guess, that this could happen to you, okay? And that there could literally be nothing you can do. And so when that day comes, you want to be ready so that, yeah, you could still be mad that it happens, but at least you knew it was going to happen, and hopefully you've taken steps to get ready as much as possible, okay? So thank you so much for those of you that have stopped by to see this live chat today and watch this video. Please, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscription button. Check out the next video that's going to be in the end clip, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next video. Blessings from my bear cave to yours. Bye.